Acid-base balance by the kidneys, or as few books mention, acidification of urine, is a very important as well as difficult topic to understand. Don't worry, I'm going to make it very simple and easy for you guys so that you guys will understand the concept and write this particular answer if this question is asked in your exams. So without any delay, let's start the video. So first and foremost, and the most basic thing that we are supposed to understand in order to understand the entire concept of acid-base balance maintenance by the kidney is that pH of a solution, or in this case the extracellular fluid or blood, is inversely proportional to the H plus ion concentration. So what does that mean? That means whenever there is a high H plus ion concentration in the ECF, there is a low pH, which is termed as acidosis. Or whenever there is a low H plus concentration in the extracellular fluid, that means there is a high pH, which is termed as alkalosis. I am making it very simple. Normal blood pH is 7.4. pH less than 7.4 is acidosis. So whenever there is acidosis, what does it mean? It means that there is high H plus concentration in the ECF. And when pH is more than 7.4, what does that mean? That means there is alkalosis, which suggests low H plus concentration in the ECF. Very simple. pH is more, the H plus concentration is less. pH is less, the H plus concentration is more. pH is less means what? pH is less means it is acidosis. Simple. Okay. There are three systems in toto which help in regulating the pH. First is the chemical acid-base buffer. Second is the respiratory system. And the third and most important that we are going to cover in this video is the renal system. So a very simple way to understand as to how kidneys help in maintenance of acid-base balance is that they can excrete excessive amount of acid. If the acid concentration in the body is increased, they can just excrete it. What does excretion of acid means? Excretion of acid means secretion of H plus and excretion in the urine. Okay, and they can also excrete the base. What is the excretion of the base means? Excretion of the base means whatever bicarbonate is filtered by the glomerulus, that is excreted. Even what can be done? What can be done is even the bicarbonate can be reabsorbed. So bicarbonate can be excreted, bicarbonate can be reabsorbed, and H plus ions need to be secreted. So let's understand in bit more detail. So let's say there is alkalosis. What does alkalosis means? Alkalosis means the pH is more and the hydrogen ion concentration is less. What do the kidneys do here? Here, the kidneys will not reabsorb all the filtered bicarbonate. So now what is going to happen to all the bicarbonate? There is going to be excretion of all the bicarbonate. So whenever there is excretion of the bicarbonate, the hydrogen ions which are present in the extracellular fluid, they are not buffered. So when the hydrogen ions are not buffered, what happens to the hydrogen ion concentration in the ECF? That is going to increase. So with the increase in the hydrogen ion concentration in the ECF, what is going to happen to the pH? The pH is brought back to normal. It's a very simple example. So now what do you think is going to happen in acidosis? In acidosis, the pH is less and the hydrogen ion concentration is more. Now what do you think should happen? What do you think the kidney should do now? Because the hydrogen ion concentration is more in the extracellular fluid, there should be more secretion of the hydrogen ions. So more secretion of the hydrogen ions is occurring where? It is occurring in the urine. Now what do you think is going to happen to the pH of the urine? The pH of the urine is going to be reduced. So that means what is going to happen? There is going to be acidification of urine. Okay. One more thing which can be done here is that there could be also reabsorption of all the filtered bicarbonate. Why that? Because bicarbonate is going to combine with H plus and it is buffering the excessive H plus which is present in the extracellular fluid, thus reducing the concentration of H plus. Now let's say there is severe acidosis. Almost all the bicarbonate is filtered. Now, what is the next step which the kidneys can do? They can also produce new bicarbonate and reabsorb. So these are the three important things the kidney does. It secretes H plus ions, it reabsorbs all the filtered bicarbonate, and if all the filtered bicarbonate is over, what it can also do is it can produce new bicarbonate and reabsorb it. By doing these three things, what it is going to do? It is going to buffer the excess H plus ions which are present in the extracellular fluid, thereby bringing down the concentration of H plus ions and the pH is brought back to normal. So in this video, we are going to study how does this occur? What are the different mechanisms of H plus secretion and bicarbonate reabsorption? Now remember that H plus secretion and bicarbonate reabsorption occurs in almost all the parts of the nephron except the descending and ascending thin limb of loop of Henle. And the bicarbonate reabsorption almost 90% occurs in the proximal tubule, another 10% occurs in the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, and remaining 10% occurs in the distal tubule and the collecting ducts. Now let's understand as to how this secretion and reabsorption is occurring in the proximal tubule, in the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, and in the early part of the distal tubule. Why is it that I'm combining all these three? Because the mechanism of secretion of H plus in all these three parts is same. So this is our tubular epithelial cell, this is our tubular lumen, this is our interstitial fluid. Now, what is happening in the tubular epithelial cell? The carbon dioxide is produced that is combining it with water in the presence of this enzyme which is called as carbonic anhydrase, that results in the formation of H2CO3. Now, this H2CO3 immediately dissociates into H plus and HCO3 minus. Now, H plus which is formed here, it is going to be transported into the tubular lumen, and this process is what is called as a secretion via a transporter which is called as sodium hydrogen exchanger. So what does the sodium hydrogen exchanger does is it transports this H plus outside and exchanges sodium. That's why sodium is going to come inside. Okay, so now this mechanism is what is called as secondary active transport. Why it is called secondary active transport? Because in the basolateral membrane of this tubular epithelial cell, there is a pump which is called as sodium potassium ATPase pump, which is pumping 3 sodium outside and 2 potassium inside. So when this pumps 3 sodium outside, what is happening to the sodium concentration inside? That is decreasing. This is creating a gradient because of which the sodium is entering inside, and in exchange of sodium, hydrogen ion is going outside. So this is how hydrogen ions are secreted in these parts: proximal tubule, thick ascending limb of loop of Henle, and the early distal tubule. Now, what happens to this bicarbonate? Now, the bicarbonate is reabsorbed. It is going to enter into the interstitial fluid. From there, it goes into the peritubular capillaries via this exchanger, which is present in the basolateral membrane of the tubular epithelial cell, which is called as sodium bicarbonate cotransporter. Now, the H plus ions which are secreted here, they will combine with the bicarbonate which is filtered across the glomerulus. They are going to combine with the bicarbonate, and this results in the formation of H2CO3, which is again going to immediately dissociate into water and carbon dioxide. Now, the carbon dioxide which is formed here, that is going to diffuse into the tubular epithelial cell, and this is again helping in the formation of the bicarbonate. Okay, so this is how the bicarbonate ions are reabsorbed and the hydrogen ions are secreted, and the mechanism is secondary active transport. So remember that each time a H plus is secreted from the tubular epithelial cells, a bicarbonate is also formed and it is released back. So one H plus is secreted, one bicarbonate is reabsorbed. But the thing that we are supposed to remember here, and which is a very important thing, is that reabsorption of the bicarbonate does not result in the net secretion of H plus. Why? Because bicarbonate is reabsorbed and H plus is secreted, but this H plus is not going to cause a reduction of the urinary pH much. Why? What is happening to the secreted H plus? This secreted H plus is immediately buffered by the bicarbonate, and again it is going to break down into carbon dioxide, which is again leading to the formation of the bicarbonate. That is what this sentence means. Reabsorption of bicarbonate does not result in net secretion of H plus ions because the secreted H plus is buffered by the bicarbonate. Now let's understand the mechanism of secretion of H plus in the late distal tubule and the collecting duct. Okay, what was the mechanism here? The mechanism was secondary active transport. Let's see what is going to happen here. Carbon dioxide forms inside the cell, again reacts with water in the presence of carbonic anhydrase, results in the formation of H2CO3, dissociates into H plus and HCO3 minus. Here H plus is pumped into the lumen. This is what is called as secretion with the help of ATPase. So what it is an example of what is called as primary active transport, and whatever bicarbonate is produced, again that is reabsorbed back here with the help of chloride bicarbonate exchanger. It's very important to remember these names. And the cells which specialize in such kind of secretions are present in the collecting ducts. These are called as the intercalated cells. Now remember, the hydrogen ion which is secreted by this method, that is the primary active transport in the later part of the distal tubule and the collecting ducts, constitutes only 5% of the total H plus secreted. Okay, but this 5% of the total H plus secreted is going to maximally reduce the pH of the urine. Okay, here the amount of H plus which is secreted is more, but this H plus which is secreted is unable to reduce the urinary pH, because whatever H plus is secreted in this part of the tubule is going to be buffered by the bicarbonate, and the bicarbonate is reabsorbed. Because maximum amount of bicarbonate is already reabsorbed, no more bicarbonate is available here to buffer this H plus. That's why this H plus has got the capacity to reduce the urinary pH, and the lower limit of the urinary pH which can be reached is 4.5. That is what I'm explaining here. This forms maximally acidic urine. The urine pH can reduce up to 4.5. How much fold increase in the H plus concentration is occurring here? There is 900 fold increase in the H plus concentration. And remember that this pH is what is called as lower limit of the urinary pH. That means below this level there cannot be reduction of the urinary pH. Even if H plus ions are being secreted after this, they need to be buffered. That is what I'm going to tell you in the next slide. Here comes the concept of generation of new bicarbonate. Now let's say there is acidosis. Now in acidosis, what is going to happen, as I have already explained, there will be H plus secretion. It is going to be increased. So when H plus secretion is increased, there is also going to be bicarbonate reabsorption. Now if there is a severe acidosis and all the bicarbonate is reabsorbed, H plus secretion is going on, and the urinary pH has become 4.5, which is called as the limiting pH. Now what did I told you? What is this 4.5? Below this urinary pH cannot go back below this mark. Now what is going to happen? But that means I cannot leave H plus in the tubular lumen. This H plus has to combine with some buffers. So this H plus, which is now secreted, it is going to combine with the buffers other than the bicarbonate, and this results in the generation of new bicarbonate. How that occurs, let's understand. So what occurs in the proximal tubule? Again, the same process. CO2 plus H2O, carbonic anhydrase, H2CO3 splits to form H plus, HCO3 minus. H plus is secreted with the help of sodium hydrogen exchanger, and bicarbonate is reabsorbed. Now for this H plus, there is no bicarbonate to buffer it. It's not there. So what is going to come into play? The phosphate is going to come into play. So this is called as a phosphate buffering system of the tubular lumen. NaHPO4 minus is going to combine with this H plus, which is going to result in NaH2PO4, which is excreted in the urine. So this is how hydrogen ions are buffered if HCO3 minus is no more available in the tubular lumen, and HCO3 minus is completely already reabsorbed. So this is one mechanism. One more mechanism. So now what is happening here is that now the H plus ions which are produced here, they are not going to combine with HCO3 minus, which is again resulting in the formation of carbon dioxide and water, and the carbon dioxide enters back into the cell, and that results in reabsorption of the bicarbonate. This is not going to occur. Okay, without that the bicarbonate is produced. So that means this bicarbonate which is produced is a new bicarbonate. It is not formed from the bicarbonate which is coming in the tubular lumen. You should understand this point. Now there is one more way by which new bicarbonate can be formed, that is with the help of the glutamine. Glutamine is formed because of the metabolism of the amino acids. So it is going to enter into the tubular epithelial cells. There are a series of reactions which occur which break down this glutamine into two bicarbonate ions and two NH4 plus ions, that is the ammonia ions. This NH4 plus is again excreted or secreted back into the tubular lumen with the help of sodium NH4 plus exchanger. Now here, without utilizing the bicarbonate, how many bicarbonates are added back or reabsorbed back? 2. So here again there is production of new bicarbonate, and there is going to be excretion of NH4 plus. So this is how the kidneys are able to generate new bicarbonate. So what is this bicarbonate is going to do? It is going to buffer the H plus ions which are in excess in the extracellular fluid, and this occurs in acidosis. This is going to occur in acidosis. Okay, now how this is going to be occurring in the late distal tubule and the collecting tubule? Again the same mechanism. The H plus which is produced is going to be secreted into the tubular lumen by means of primary active transport. Already I have explained this. Now this H plus in the late DT and this collecting ducts is going to combine with NH3 plus. Okay, here the buffer is ammonia buffer. So we have ammonia buffer, we have phosphate buffer, we have bicarbonate buffer. So when bicarbonate buffer is no more available, at that point of time the phosphate and ammonia buffer are going to come into action, and NH4 will be excreted out. Okay, now this is how again there is synthesis of new bicarbonate and reabsorption of new bicarbonate. So remember one very important thing, that in cases of chronic acidosis there is an increased NH4 plus excretion which is going to occur. So what is the take home message? Very important, listen to this part carefully. H plus secretion is very much necessary for both bicarbonate reabsorption and generation. So the most important thing the kidney has to do is H plus secretion. Without H plus secretion, bicarbonate reabsorption is not going to occur. Without H plus secretion, generation of new bicarbonate is also not going to occur. Therefore, the rate of H plus secretion must be very much regulated. So what happens in alkalosis to the H plus secretion? It is reduced. So with reduction of H plus secretion, what is reduced? Bicarbonate reabsorption is reduced. So what is happening in alkalosis? The bicarbonate is excreted out. But what happens in acidosis? H plus secretion is increased, all the bicarbonate is reabsorbed, and this bicarbonate is used to buffer the H plus in the extracellular fluid. Now when all the bicarbonate is reabsorbed, now let's say still H plus secretion is continuing and the urinary pH has become 4.5. Urinary pH cannot reduce below 4.5. That's why this is called as the limiting pH. Now what should happen to the H plus ions? Now these H plus ions are buffered by phosphate buffer and ammonia buffer, and that results in generation of the new bicarbonate, and now NH4 is excreted. NH4 plus is excreted, not NH4 only. Okay, so what is the stimuli for the H plus secretion? H plus secretion always occurs when there is acidosis. Acidosis can be a respiratory acidosis because of increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide. It could be metabolic acidosis because of increase in H plus or decrease in the bicarbonate. One more very important thing which acts as a stimulus for H plus secretion is increase in aldosterone secretion. This is what is called as primary hyperaldosteronism, which is called as the Conn syndrome. I hope you understood the concept. Thank you for listening.